TomZenner scandal.
How did you start with this story? Because you've got the track record where you could write about anything you want. What fascinated about this? And then how did you tell Graydon Carter, put me on this, I'm heading out to Idaho to see what I can find out?
Well, basically pretty much the way you described it. We were sitting around in Thanksgiving table just about 10 days after the murders occurred, and we finished talking about family politics and whatever, and the conversation turned to the Idaho murders. And I hadn't paid much attention to it. But the more it was discussed, the more perplexing the mystery began. With 4 people killed, they didn't know who the suspect was. They had no idea of a motive. They had no murder weapon. They didn't know the suspect was able to escape from the house without leaving a trail of blood. And I thought, well, this is pretty interesting. So I emailed Graydon and I said, I'd like to do this. And even better, he said, go off and do it, and we'll cover your expenses, which is just what a writer wants to hear. So I hopped on a plane and I was out there, but I also went out there with another idea in mind. In my vanity, I thought I would solve the case. This was in the early days. I thought I'd go out there, start knocking on doors, have my yellow pads in my hand, interview people, and get to the bottom of things. And very quickly, I thought I had cracked the case. Here's what I thought would happen. What struck me most about the town and the house where the murders occurred on King Road was the house was sort of in a gully, and above it, there were these larger, fancier houses. And those houses, which were more expensive, belonged to members of the dominant church group in town, the Kirkers. And the Kirkers were an interesting group in the sense that they were as much a political movement as a pastoral one. They wanted to create a Christian theocracy in Moscow. That's Moscow. Also, it's the first thing you learn when you get out there. The town is pronounced to rhyme with Costco. They don't want it to be associated with anything in Russia. I'm there in Moscow in this Kirkers group, and I start looking into them. They have the big houses there, and I thought someone would have driven by the party house, seen all the kids frolicking, seen their exuberance, their vitality, and it would have annoyed him, repressed him, excited him, and he would have been driven, in a sense, to act. And the Kirkers themselves had a pretty problematic history, political history in town. There have been a series of videos by 12 young women who said they'd been sexually assaulted by the Kirkers. One of their deacons had gone to jail for pedophilia. There were a lot of disturbances. So I thought this might have aroused one of their members. So the first step to get to this was for me to talk to their pastor, the head of the group, Pastor Wilson. And I tried calling him from the motel where I was staying, and he just wouldn't return my calls. So being the tenacious New York investigative reporter, I go out to the parking lot of the church area, and I convince him while meeting him in the parking lot, I ambush him in effect, to come speak with me. We go into his office. He tells me very kindly, very intelligently, he's a man of great charisma, a very forceful speaker, about the problems they're having with the town. And their problems stem from the fact that they are opposing the town's pandemic laws, wearing of masks, and they've had people arrested protesting these events. I'm sitting there listening to this, and I realize I'm sitting in a windowless room across from him. We're about a foot apart, and it's the middle of a pandemic. So what happens is basically 3 days later, I haven't solved the case, but I did get COVID. That was my introduction to the case and to the town of Moscow.
Hey there, I'm TomZenner, and if you're a fan of true crime and pop culture scandal, I think you are, well, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Give us a like, because trust me, the drama is just starting to heat up. Follow me on social media at TomZenner, and keep coming back to the channel, and we're going to keep bringing you the scandal every single day. New content. Thanks for watching.